Okay, so we are working on the Unit 3 group work, and we're going to be working on numbers 7 and 8. These ones go by really quickly, especially number 8, because it's all just calculator work. And speaking of which, just make sure that you have a calculator handy for the next couple problems, because we're going to be dealing with word problems and also graphs. So just make sure you have those calculators ready. So the lowest base logarithm problems that you're going to see are just like using the base of the log to kind of like simplify the expression a little bit. So here's an example of how I'd use this, okay? So I'm going to use this really slowly and then in a more efficient way in a second. So how many times does 2 divide into 40? Well, I know it at least divides out once. So this is the same as saying the log base 2 of 2 times 20, right? Because that's what 40 is equal to. So what I could do here is now, I'm targeting looking for bases of 2 that I can take out of the number 40. So I've already got one right over here, and I can use one of my log properties to split this apart, so I can get it as log base 2 of 2 plus, because they're multiplying, plus log base 2 of 20. And this is really helpful because from here, I know that this is a property of logs. It's the following property. If I have a log with the same base as my input value, it automatically equals 1. So this is just equal to 1 plus log base 2 of 20. Now, 2 divides out of 20 again, right? Because this is 2 times 10. So it'll happen again. So I'll have another log base 2 of 2 from here that branches off. So let's see how that'll look. So this is the same as saying 1 plus log base 2 of 2 plus log base 2 of 10, right? Because I can split this into 2 times 10 and then split the 2 logs apart. And this just becomes 1 again, doesn't it? So that's 1 plus 1, so now I have 2 plus the log base 2 of 10. But 10, again, turns into 2 times 5. So since it's 2 times 5, I can split that log apart again. So I've got 2 plus log base 2 of 2 plus log base 2 of 5. Now this becomes 1 again, and 1 plus 2 is 3, so I get 3 plus log base 2 of 5. And since I can't simplify that any further using this lowest base, this is just my simplified expression. So that's simplifying the log using the lowest base. Now let me show you how this works in a little bit of a faster kind of way. Okay, so the square root of 45, I can rewrite that as, well, I guess this example is going to be really a good example to show how efficient you can run through it, but like, yeah, so let's maybe go back on the other one before we do this. It's because like 40 is the same as saying 8 times 5, and 8 is really 2 to the third. So like, if I wrote it as log base 2 of 2 to the third times 5, I could split this thing apart and then move the exponent to the front. That's how I get like that 3 that's right here. So, you know, like that's how you can kind of do it a little bit faster if you wanted to. Anyway, square root of 45, I can reduce that right now so that it could look like this. Square root of 45 is the same as saying the square root of 9 times 5. And the square root of 9 is 3, so this is 3 radical 5, this number. So I'm just going to rewrite that. So log base 3 of 3 times square root of 5. So since they're multiplying, I can, you know, split them apart. So I've got log base 3 of 3 plus log base 3 of square root of 5. And then log base 3 of 3 is 1. So this is the same as saying 1 plus, and then let's move that exponent out front too. So 1/2 log base 3 of 5. So, you know, that's our simplified expression. Okay, now for the calculator stuff. So I'll type some of these in, like, you know, using 2 different methods. So for the first one, I'm just gonna type it in using my calculator. So like some of your calculators, you can have a really nice function on it. So if you hit math, the math button right here, and then press up a couple times, you'll see log base. So that you can type your log in exactly as it's written. I think that's good for the TI-84 Plus, CE, and then like a couple other the TI-84 Pluses, but like some of the older ones don't have this function. So I'm going to show you how to do these problems in 2 different ways. So one way is just to type it in directly. You know, if you have this function on your calculator, it's pretty easy. Then let's see, it's 8 to the power of 4.2. Oops, 4.2. And I think you should end up with like 12.6 or something. Yeah, 12.6. So like, you know, that's just your number, 12.6. There we go. Now, if you don't have this function on your calculator, you can still do this. It's not that difficult. You just use logs for the big number here, and then log for the base as well, and you have to divide them. It's using the change of base formula that we learned about earlier. So here's how it goes. Ready? So we do log of the big number, 8 to the power of 4.2, and then we divide that by the log of the base, so log of 2. And you get the same number, 12.6. See, so it works either way. These are equivalent expressions. Just make sure you know how to type it in your calculator. If you don't, make sure you reach out to your teacher to find out that number, or to find out how to type it in. So I'm just going to use this method to type it in, just because not everybody has this. But you have that log base in your calculator. Again, it's math, and then up a couple times so you get the log base. That's the one that you're looking for. All right, anyways, so if I wanted log base 4 of 27, I type in log of 27, divide by log of 4, and that will give me my answer, which is 2.37, what do we have to go to, 3 decimal places? So 2.377. All right, and then for this one, you can combine them together using log properties, but I guess you don't have to. I'm going to anyways. So this is log base 2 of 6 divide by 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, so it's log base 2 of 2. And we just learned that property is just equal to 1, but you can type it in exactly as it's written. Log of 6 divided by log of 2 minus log of 3 divided by log of 2, and you'll still end up with the same answer, 1. So either way, it works out. Okay, so that's it for the first page. The entire first page is done. Now let's move on to the next page and do some of those graphs. So for that one, I'll start up a new video.